So after a turbulent week at Everton Football Club, to say the least, um, I've been asked to do a preview of the Everton Brighton game at Goodison Park coming up this weekend. As you can see, I'm not in my usual surroundings. I am in a recording studio at uni, so got to be quick. Um, Everton, after the defeat to Manchester City prior to the FA Cup game, are in 11th. 25 points out of 21 played. 7 wins, 4 draws, 10 losses, a goal difference of -8. On the flip side to that, you've got Brighton, who are 3 places off us in 14th, 21 played, 24 points, 1 point differential. So I think that just gives an indication to the standard of the league so far this season. A good run of results could put anyone in contention for European places. Just look at the likes of Wolves and Sheffield United at the minute. The only side that seems to be able to manage any form of consistency is obviously we know the league leaders, which I'll get into later. Brighton have scored one more and conceded two less than Everton so far this season. Um, Noticeable absentees, obviously for Everton, goes without saying. Andre Gomez, Alex Iwobi still out. Shubaman still out indefinitely, not sure of a return date there. And for the visitors, Aaron Moy, obviously he's got a bit of news coverage from the local media that he's doubtful for the game, and prolific goal scorer, otherwise known as Glenn Murray, looks to be missing for the game too. But I'm a huge fan of Graham Potter and is the ideology that he's tried to implement into his side. I think particularly the way he builds from the back with the likes of Webster, pardon me, and Dunk. It's a really interesting system to watch with midfielders of a decent standard in Davy Prophet and Pascal Gross. I think they were standouts when Brighton got promoted to the Premier League too. But this is where it changes more from statistics to opinion. So just my opinion. It's very hard to get myself motivated for this. Obviously, coming off that, it's hard to recall a more embarrassing Merseyside derby loss in recent memory. And again, the closest thing that comes to my memory is the 5-2 just a month or so earlier. So it feels like we're in uncharted territory as to how we feel at the moment. I think one of the best reactions that I have ever seen from an Everton squad to an embarrassment, in particular an FA Cup embarrassment, was in David Moyes' last season, where we were royally dumped out of the FA Cup via a 3-0 loss to Wigan at home. I think the 3 goals came in like 3 minutes, and it was just an absolute calamity from start to finish. We responded exceptionally well to that in the following home game. We come up against Manchester City, we beat them 2-0. A very strong, cohesive performance as a collective unit. Everybody was on the same wavelength, battled hard. The goals, Leon Osman scored an absolute screamer with the outside of his boot, and Jelavic got that infamous curler that took a deflection and ended up lobbing Joe Hart. Ever since then, it's very hard to pinpoint a Everton performance which has almost, you could classify as a response to embarrassment. There's nothing to play for again this season. As I mentioned earlier, we've got the potential of European places. Me, in my heart of hearts, think obviously bar Leicester, who are performing exceptionally well, and so they should be with the quality they have in the team. Are the usual suspects are going to finish in those top 6 spots. I know I said that the quality of the league has been considerably poor, but likewise, so have we. I don't think we are gonna gate crash that top 6 anytime soon. And yes, I'm aware it's a more cynical perspective on things, and we have seen progress, no doubt about it. We've seen an upturn in performances and an upturn in results. Obviously, when Dunk's come in, we've seen the work ethic almost returned to the side. You know, back to basics, work hard, run hard, tackle hard. That's most prominently in the home win against Chelsea. And then Carlo Ancelotti's obviously been appointed, and without shadow of a doubt, I am very happy that that appointment's come off, and I feel like in the medium to long term that will stand the club in really good stead. We've seen victories against Burnley in his first game, and then Newcastle United away, but not to mention the upturn of form, in particular of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has been exceptionally good in December, and I know he's been nominated for December's Player of the Month, so congratulations there. And I feel like this is one of the pitfalls of when a football club appoints a manager mid-season, in particular around the winter period, because there are so many games to be played, and Everton aren't even in European competition. God help us if we were, just due to the sheer volume of games to be played. The tiredness is there to be seen, and you can tell even when the squad's being rotated that lads aren't playing at their usual flow and best. Not to say that we've even seen this Everton side at their flow and best yet. I don't touch wood, we haven't. Hopefully those days are still to come. But they're tired, and you can tell that they are very tired in whatever the state. But listen, the club may be in whatever state it's in, high or low, but what always remains a constant is the support from the fans. It's never going to drop off, and all we want to see is our team winning games and putting a shift in every time they're on the field. And fingers crossed we see that response against Brighton at the weekend. Sorry, it had to be a quick one. Hope you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe across all social media platforms. Cheers.